learn how to pin our individual legs and how to sew them. So you have two pieces now. If you've cut out, you have two separate pieces. Make sure to separate them. You're going to take them. Remember, everything we do is inside out. And you're going to fold them in half. And remember our little notches, our triangles. This is where those should match up. So go and match those up. They don't have to be perfect, but as close as you can get them, you'll match those up. Pin right there. Okay? Now, I want you to look, because this will be confusing to several. We know those match up. Well, let me do it this way. Let me turn it around this way. This will be easier, I think, for everyone to see. So, we know those two notches match up. So that tells us that we're putting these two pieces together correctly. Now, you're going to start at the crotch point. Okay? Start at the crotch point. We know our two notches match. So you're going to take the two pieces at the crotch point and pin them. Okay? And then the whole way down from the crotch point down to the hem, you're going to pin every 3 inches, every 3 to 4 inches. So these are not perfectly straight. You can see that. You have to make them perfectly straight. And everything we pin on the pants, you're going to have to make perfectly straight. So you just simply take the top piece, lay it on top of the bottom piece, and pin it. Okay? See, this is not straight. We have to make it straight. Take the top piece, put it on top of the bottom piece, and pin it. That's why we're doing it every 4 inches, because you're bringing it together. And do you see how those are perfectly together? There's no overlap. So you take them and put them together. It doesn't matter how crooked you cut, you still need to put them together. You'll go all the way down to the bottom. Up here, this question will be asked several times today. This does not match up, does it? Not at all. We're not sewing anything on this little half U right here. You're just sewing from the crotch point down. This does not match up because it's not supposed to. This has 3 notches and that has 2. Those are not the same. This will match up when we put the legs together where there's 3 notches. And this will match up where there's 2 notches when we put them together tomorrow. Okay? So from the crotch point up to the waist, it should look like this. Okay? It will not match because we're not doing anything with that today. That's later on. So you'll be doing pinning from only the crotch point to the end, to the hem. And when you sew, again, we've not sewn since before the break. Make sure it's on B. Make sure tension is on 3.5. Make sure everything looks good before you start. Remember that when you start sewing, and this is one of the biggest mistakes made. If you don't backstitch every time you start and stop on this, stuff will start to unravel. And then once you get legs put together and stuff's unraveling, it's like a puzzle to have to take everything apart again to go back to it. So this is where the crotch point is. So that's definitely one place we don't want to unravel. So you're going to want to make sure when you put the presser foot down, again, make sure everything you're going to sew is in front of the needle. If it's behind the needle, then it's not going to sew. So make sure to stay on the tape. Barely catch the beginning of your fabric with your presser foot. Just like the pillow. You're going to start, stop, back stitch, and see that humming noise it makes? Sometimes you just have to turn the hand wheel. Back stitch, and then we're going to stay on the tape. Okay? A lot of people did not back stitch on their pillows. Several, I shouldn't say a lot. You have to back stitch every time you start and stop, or these pants are going to be just a hot mess. Now, I'm coming up on my triangles, okay? The only point of those triangles is to show you when you pin that you have the right pieces together. So when you're sewing, act like they're not even there. Just keep going straight. So just keep going straight. We know they serve their purpose. And you are simply going to stay on that tape all the way down, staying on the tape to your hem. When you get to your hem, come all the way to the bottom, and then what do? Back stitch. And then lift your presser foot, pull it out, clip it, and then do the same thing to the next leg. And when you're done, this should take you 10 minutes, 15, unless something happens. If it makes that humming noise, Do like I just showed you, and that 9 times out of 10, that will fix it. When you're done, fold both legs up individually, and then tomorrow we're moving on again.